For today's cup of coffee, have a topic that's going to be kind of broad, and I'm going to have to present this in a different way because there's robotic entities that are listening to everything and reading things, and we are not free to speak right now. That in itself should frighten everyone. That's scarier than any chupacabra sighting, or even we are dealing with demons. Now that's something that these things are walking about front line. Mercury did go retrograde. This is my second time trying to record this because the camera just decided to say can't record. So that was weird. But anyhow, I think all of us are on these email subscriptions of things where, we look at it and we're like, we don't read it, we just delete it, we go on for months, and we're like, what is this? And so this one was one that I happened to open up more fully today, and it's a group called Intercessors for America. And it's about praying, for different causes and different things like that, because as Christians, that's what we do. We pray about things. It's one of our first lines of defense and action. So because of the aforementioned situation, it's a matter of speaking without speaking and you all listening between the words. So I will do the best that I can to present that within those conditions. This was what came up. And I know that this has got a lot of controversy to it. I actually was a pro person when I was younger, and until I had my first miscarriage. And that type of thing will give you a totally different perspective on whether things are or are not. Yeah. But within this topic, and I'm going to provide you with the links for these things, and you can read, and I think that that's better. And then you can email me if you don't feel comfortable commenting. I do understand that because it is as it is in this moment. So this organization right here, the International Society for Stem Cell Research, and that is actually in Illinois, here in the United States. Which I don't think that's going to shock anyone with what's come forth today. Some of the changes to the rules, such as, the changes as far as the field of stem cell research, the culture of human, now think of this term, culture of human embryos. Embryo models, what can be done with them. This one was really, we had discussed this just a few days ago. I've got Kat who's decided to attack a box while I'm recording. Yeah. And I will tell you this, by the time that it is allowed to become public knowledge, it's already been for years. So the supposed what can be and what can't be, and what is ethical and what is not ethical, this is interesting. This has been frontline lately, hasn't it? Yes, it's always nice to mess with somebody's mitochondrials. And this one here, products. Now, folks, this is some of the spookiest stuff on some of this. This gave a pretty good synopsis here, removing the 14-day rule as far as research on the embryos. So now they can go beyond 14 days. Research allowing the creation of a 3-parent embryo. And allowing, of course, the human-animal chimera research. And they're supposedly, it's like, oh, well, you can do this, but you can't do that. Right. Now, how many believe that? If you believe that, raise your hand. But anyhow, there was a gentleman that had actually introduced a bill to try to, well, it's a Prohibition Act on that. I think that came out on the 25th was when I had, I think is what it said. And that's all that it said. It didn't really state what the bill was, how it was stated. It just said that it was. So yeah. Anyhow, he's the gentleman, the legislator that brought forth this bill had said that it would create a permanent statutory ban on certain types of human-animal chimeras. Yeah. Well, he's just a little bit gopher, you know. And why do we need this? Just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing. So, yeah. Like I said, the ghost stories and the paranormal things are wonderful. I enjoy that. I enjoy that realm of spoopy. But this is realm of reality, and it's more frightening than any, like I said, any ghost story. Outside of sitting and living with somebody that's demonically possessed for a year, which, you know, yeah. So if you have paranormal, supernatural events, if you have UFOs, aliens, I know that youngest kid and I were watching, I think it was it was Mr. Ballin. He was discussing about the Travis Walton case. I think that was it Fire in the Sky? That was the movie that was made about Mr. Walton's abduction experience. Mr. Ballin does such a good job telling stories. So if you've had any kind, I hope you haven't had an experience like Mr. Walton had, because that traumatized all those men. Anything like that, if you have had some kind of a cryptoid sighting, if you're interested in any of that, local legends, fun spoopy. We need some fun spoopy, which is why occasionally I will do, you know, like the coffees or the, you know, in quest of Halloween, in search of Halloween and different things like that. Because right now we're in brain breaking times, and all of us need a break. And yeah, so any of those things. And if you just need someone to talk to, if you need someone to give a damn that you're on the planet, that's another thing that you can email me about, and that is cupofcoffeewithscream at gmail.com. And I will definitely place the warning that, you know, Leo King said. During this next period of time, now these are really hardcore things that we've got going on. If you feel yourself is in any kind of mental health crisis, reach out to someone. And if you can't call, you know, a mental health provider for yourself, find somebody who can get in touch with them. You know, if it's 911, go to your local emergency room, ask to speak, tell them that you are having a mental health crisis, ask to speak to the on-call therapist, because never assume that a doctor is going to know what to do with mental health. But as far as the mental health worker, take somebody with you if at all possible, so that they can record what's going on, that they can take down times, dates, names. If you're in there for an exorbitant amount of time, tell them that you want to speak to the human rights, you know, advocate, because this is some serious stuff, that we are in some serious times. And always be in prayer, and always know that you are loved and that God is still God, all by himself. You all have a beautiful, blessed day.